Hey everyone, Paul here with Blackwater Honey Forge. It is April 10th. It is 70 degrees out and it is gorgeous. And I've said it many times already this year, but this time I think I'm right. I think spring is finally here. We have had so many false springs this year. Heck, it snowed just the other day. I grabbed a picture alongside of the road. But now all the snow is gone, and I think this weekend I actually get into the bees. I still got to take all the wraps off, and I need to go through and do reversals if I need, do some equalizations if I need, and really start liquid feeding, which I actually haven't done yet because the nighttime temperatures have been as low as about 23 degrees, and I didn't want to have liquid feed on those. I also have T-posts up because I'm going to be working on my apiary expansion to accommodate for all the extra room. So that'll be towards the end of this video series because I'm going to get caught up with some of the stuff that I've been doing. And then what I'm going to do is this weekend, I'll include in this video as well, going through these hives, taking the wraps off, doing reversals on the strong ones, trying to equalize if I want to do that. And I have one hive I think I might have lost. It might be salvageable or I might just do a combine. So stick with me, we'll see about that. Oh, and by the way, let me spin my camera around. Say hi to this little girl. She's recovering from surgery. This is Maple. She likes to try to eat bees out of the sky, but she's about almost done her 2-week recovery. So she's starting to go on walks. You doing good, girl? You doing good, Mapes? All right. Let's finish our walk and then we're going to get to work, okay, pup?
This is Blackwater Honey Forge, named in part after the Blackwater River we live near in central New Hampshire, and in part after the master craftsmanship of honeybees. This is a place for learning, discussion, and to practice the art of beekeeping. Welcome to the journey. Be well and forge on.
And I'm wearing a Christmas present. This is the my brand new Man Lake vented jacket with the Clearview style veil. And man, yeah, it is phenomenal. You can see out of this really well. What I like is you can see into it really well. You can actually see my face. With my old license jacket, it was just a black screen. You were just basically talking to Darth Vader. So I'm really excited about this. I'm out here today. It is March something. I'll make sure to put that in the video. And there's still snow all over the place on the ground, but it's actually about 50 degrees today. It's a little bit cooler right now, maybe about 47 degrees Fahrenheit. It's later in the afternoon than I wanted to be out here, but this is when I got home from work. The bees are flying, and what I'm doing out here is feeding my bees because it's too early to feed springtime. It's too early to feed liquid feed because it's still getting under freezing overnight, and I can't do the liquid feed yet. So what I am doing instead is I got a recipe from watching Ryan over at Sourwood Farms. He made something called sugar glop, which I liked the sound of a lot. So rather than a hard sugar brick, this is more malleable, but it's almost like it's clumpy. You can clump it up. It's almost like play sand style. I wanted something that was easier for the bees to digest versus a sugar brick. And that also has some pollen sub in it as well. Now, that is not his recipe exactly true to form. I'll actually put his recipe on there. And my difference of it was I did not have flax oil, so I used a different type of seed oil. And I was actually out of dry pollen sub, so I took some of my pollen patty mixture that I made up and mixed that into the mixture as well. So there is some pollen in it, and probably about the same amount as if I had put in dry sub in it. So I'm gonna go ahead, And if there is any sugar bricks in these hives, I'm gonna take those out, and those will just go into my first mixture eventually when I make up some sugar syrup. So this is the only hive that doesn't have the appropriate quilt board on it. So I'm gonna take some of this sugar, put it around here like this for the bees. And as you can see, I actually have the remnants of a sugar brick on, and that's covering up their the hole in that top box. I just have a double screen dividing board. Oh, you'll get to go to a new home now then. And that has a little bit of space in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this sugar brick. Put on that double screen divider. And now they're good to go. Now I can just go ahead and replace the foam, replace the lid, and move on down the line. I'll show you on the next hive. So, same, except that this one is going to have the quilt board, or the quilt box rather. Next year I'm not going to be doing this. I'm going to go ahead and take out, oh, that's a good sign. So I put in these pollen patties a few weeks back, and they've eaten most of these. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the very difficult to eat sugar bricks. They are eating them. But this other stuff is going to be easier for them to eat. So clump that up, put that right on the cluster. Now I have 1/8 inch. Now I have 1/8 inch hardware cloth down here. So that'll still hold back some of the sugar, but it'll be really easy for the bees to get to. And since it's probably still going to be a couple of weeks before I can get to liquid feed, I'm just going to put on a little bit extra. Oh, ladybug, there you go, enjoy. I'm hoping I can start liquid feeding. According to the weather forecast here in central New Hampshire, I might be able to entertain liquid feeding around April 1st. So that's about a week away, not even a week away. So either way, maybe I was jumping the gun. I really wanted, hi, there I am. I really wanted to be further along than I am, but I also have to be realistic about the fact that this is New Hampshire and it's still March. I know the calendar says spring, Paul, but it's still winter. Matter of fact, we had a couple of really light snowstorms recently. Now my yard actually looks like a mess right now too, because one of the other things I did the other day was I lowered this front row that's on the 4x4s because just having 2 cinder blocks instead of 1 stack, just the hives were too high, and when I had supers on them and everything else, it was not fun to work. So right now the bee yard looks like a mess because I got cinder blocks everywhere. But I'm going to actually be expanding further out in this direction into the field. So I'll be making use of those cinder blocks again pretty soon as well. But I'm hoping that being able to work hives that are a little bit lower will actually make things easier when it comes time to lifting supers on and off. What I am worried about, unfortunately, is because the frost is starting to let go in the field, everything is off kilter. Nothing is level because certain parts of the ground are thawing and the bricks are sinking in, and the other parts are still got frost in them. So I've gone around real quick and made spot checks today and leveled things back out again. And of course then once the frost recedes, I'm going to have to go back again and level everything back out. But either way, I'm blabbing too much. I've only done 2 hives with the sugar sand so far, so I got to get to work. Now, as you can see right now, I still have my inner covers on, and I still have my wooden lids. I am going to be switching out to the polystyrene lids this year, and I am going to be switching out to Reflectix and Prodex for the inner cover. But today I don't want to open stuff up too much. I don't want to mess with the bees too much. This is just about getting them some nutrition and getting out of their way. They've eaten on these pollen patties a lot. These were 1 pound pollen patties and it's almost completely gone. That's not much, and there's another little piece here. So I'm glad that they're eating and taking the pollen. Saw an ermine yesterday. One of my stepkids pointed it out. Super, super rare to see them. Very beautiful little animal. Will wreak absolute havoc on your chickens if you let it. So I told it wasn't allowed to do that. So we came to an understanding. It went back into the woods on its happy little way. Maybe I'll include a picture of the ermine. It's a little out of focus, but it's got a cute little fuzzy brown face. They turn white in the winter. They're actually a really cool critter. And I told my stepkid that she is very, very lucky to see one because they're very rare. I think I've only ever seen one about 3 times in my life. And unlike her, I am not 10 years old. So they're pretty rare. So anyway, you got the point. I'm going to go along and feed more. The good thing is even my weakest hive was still alive, so I'm really confident in all the rest of the ladies here. So I'm going to work on that spring buildup, and then probably do a couple other pieces of videos for this segment over the next couple of weeks. The cool thing is on the other end of the business, I've got in a whole bunch of containers, bottles. My labels are starting to come in, so I get a lot of work in regards to bottling, labeling, and then of course I also make my my wax products as well: lip balm, candles, beard balm. I make a lotion bar, so I got to get all those inventory back up. Excuse me, I got to get the inventory enough so that I have backup, and I get the I have to get words in my mouth and then out into the microphone. That's what I need to do. I forgot where I left off. So then on the other end of the business, some really good stuff is happening as well. I got in a couple of stainless steel tables today. I got in a whole bunch of bottles for the honey, including jars for the honey because I'm doing plastic and glass. My labels are starting to pour in. I'm working on my inventory for my my value-added products as well. My lip balm, my beard balm, my lotion bar. I'm going to be working on candles this year too, so I got labels and containers and all that associated stuff coming in for that as well. I get label dispensers. I'm going to for the for the honey bottles, I'm going to be getting a label applicator as well. So yeah, my bank account has loved me lately. It's getting lots of attention. So at any rate, I'll see you on whatever's next. All right, it is March 30th. And the weather forecast was correct. It is warm today. It is mid 60s, mid to high 60s in central New Hampshire. I am walking down to the bee yard right now, just past the chickens. Come on, chickens, get in frame. There we go. Chickens are doing good. They're happy. They're laying up a storm lately. Actually, just opened up my farm stand for the season today. So I'm really stoked about that. Not only did I get to put in a whole bunch of honey, but I got a bunch of eggs in there. Lip balm, beard balm, lotion bar, you know, all the products. But the cool thing is one of my stepkids, one of the stepdaughters, she really liked that I had a business and liked seeing what I was doing. So she wanted to make candles as well. So we actually do organic soy candles for her. And we made up a shelf and a post for locally for the farm stand. So that was really cool too, to get the kiddos candles. I should probably show off the farm stand soon. All right, and I got one more surprise. Come on out. Who's this?
Layla!
Layla, what do you got to show us?
Candles.
Candles? Well, that's pretty neat. Why don't you tell us about these candles some?
They're named after quarter horses because my favorite animal is a quarter horse.
Mm-hmm. I'm over here. Why don't you talk to the camera and the people? Hey! Yeah, and you make candles. What do you make them out of? Do you remember what we make them out of?
Soy wax.
Soy wax, you got it. Organic soy wax.
And then...
And we got all kinds of different scents.
vanilla, lemongrass, lavender, cucumber melon, and coconut vanilla.
Yeah, and what else do we have fun with that we add to them?
Color!
Colors! You got it.
So the coconut vanilla is it's a brown color because of coconuts.
Yep. We don't have to show everyone, but they get the idea. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Show more. Which one's this?
Cucumber melon.
Cucumber melon.
Green.
Hey, looks kind of like a cucumber and a melon. You got it. All right, so the candles up here are $8 a piece, and feel free to just use the cash box or the same Venmo for the business, and I'll make sure the money gets to the kiddo, and she makes sure actually to recycle most of that money right back into the business to make more candles. So if you like them, they'll hopefully be a good supply. Thank you guys for watching. Look forward to seeing you at the farm stand. Have a great day. Ducks. I don't know if you can see them, but you'll probably hear the geese. So, why am I walking out to the apiary right now? Well, two reasons. I actually wanted to mix up liquid feed today and go put a little bit of liquid feed in these hives today, but unfortunately, home ownership is getting in the way, and I have to actually go and tear apart my well unit soon because I have a contractor coming out to look at my well head tomorrow. My house is older, 40 some odd years old, and it's built in a number of additions. Yeah, not bee related at all. And so you're gonna get me all over the place. Anyway, so one of the additions got built right over the well. So in order to access the well and the wellhead, I'm gonna be tearing apart some flooring today. So instead, I have a bucket of some pollen patties. I already went out and put on the sugar sand earlier, so they should be good with the sugar sand, and then this pollen is gonna give them plenty of food for the brood. Because the weather forecast actually looks really good for the next week. It's supposed to be anywhere from mid 40s to upper 50s to touch 60s a couple of times. So great weather for bees, right? Sure. Except it's also supposed to be raining for the next 5 to 6 days straight. So the bees, even though there's not really much for them to go out and get, maple will be starting any moment soon. I did go and pull all my maple taps and do my last sap boil just yesterday. So maple soon. But the bees aren't going to be able to fly to get anything. So since they can't fly and they need to feed the young ones, I'm making sure to go around and do what I did with the sugar sand the other day and smush a bunch of this pollen patty down in onto the quilt boards that I have. So I'm out to the yard. I'll get the tripod set up, and got bees flying around. It's always a good sight. I'll get the tripod set up and video some of this. So I'm out here in front of hive number 1 right now, and I'm actually going to start with one today. I usually leave this one to the last because it is a feisty hive. These ladies banana candy me all the time. But I'm here, it's close. Let's go ahead and start with this. All good. Glad I already slammed something on the feisty hive. But the quilt board, of course, is in place. They can't fly out from this direction. And, oh good, you can see in there. So I got a bunch of the sugar sand still that's in here. They've been working on that. And I have a little bit of pollen patty in here. That's a little bit dry. It's still a good patty, but I'm gonna take some of this wet stuff and I'm really gonna smush it into this 1/8 inch hardware cloth that I have in there. So really gonna take it and smush it in there so they have good access to this stuff. Especially with this hive, even though it's feisty, this is gonna be one of my cell builders, and I'm gonna take eggs from another hive, and after I'm done using the amazing workforce that this hive is, I got the most amount of honey from this hive last year as well. After I'm done using the workforce for my grafting, the queen's getting the axe, and I'll be requeening this hive with one of the grafted queens. So just gonna go ahead and give them plenty because I could come out here and do liquid feed soon, but right now they have everything they need right on top of them. Get it all nice and smushed in there. That way they have good access to it. And I'm going to do this to all the hives right now. Hopefully this week too, if it's not raining too bad. I mean, I can do it anyway, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to video it. But I need to expand the apiary, because obviously right now I got 11 hives. I'm hoping to get mid-30s. I need to push the electric fence out and get more hive stands set up. So if I can video that today, or excuse me, this week, I will. But the problem is the camera that I have is not an action camera, it's a vlogging camera, so it's actually not weather resistant. So if it's raining at all, I can't do that with this camera. So we'll see what I can do. But until then, I'm gonna try to now push buttons on my camera with my very pollinated fingertips. All right, so I'm out here today. I'm gonna be redoing the fence and expanding the apiary in one direction as well. I already sunk all but 2 of the T-posts, and when I first did this fence, I did really thin wire. I don't know if it's stainless steel wire. It's probably aluminum wire is what it is. I did really thin gauge. It's 16 gauge, maybe something like that. That stuff stretches, it breaks, it doesn't have good tensile strength. The dogs don't see it well. So I got a roll of poly wire instead, and I'm going to redo my fence with the poly wire. So the first thing I got to do is cut out all of this stuff and pull out all of that. Actually, the first thing I got to do is turn off my electric fence. I'm wearing my jacket because a couple of my hives are pretty feisty and the bees are pretty active at the moment. So rather than take a sting to the face for no reason, I'm just going to do that. I noticed one thing about the Man Lake clear veil hood that I'm not super stoked about. It doesn't sit well on a hat. A lot of the times underneath my veil, I'm wearing a hat. So I have to take off my hat and then, you know, have a glorious hairdo. So turn off the fence, take this out. And then what I'm doing as well, I think it's in frame. I think you can see right here. Oh, you know what? It's not. Let me turn on the motion tracker. Heyo. So over here, there is my gate that I've been using in between these two. Well, a lot of my apiary is going off in this way. So what I'm going to be doing from now on is from this post to this post, I'm going to reposition that. So I'm just going to be taking away that 15-foot section when I'm accessing the apiary, and it's going to give me a much better place to bring in gear and move out gear and just make life easier. So either way, I'm going to get to removing this old stuff. I'll check in with you guys in a moment. Well, I'll tell you what. If you wanted to judge me on my ability to make knots, you would have a field day with me. I am not a Boy Scout. I am not a sailor. I am not a good fisherman. My ability to make knots is pretty much non-existent. And even if I speed that up to 16 times, it's probably still going to look like it took me a while, because it did. But I'm glad that it's done. It's so much easier to see the poly rope, so hopefully that's better for the dogs as well. I only did 3 strands instead of 5 strands this time. Of course, as soon as I take my veil up, now I get a little headhunter. Anyway, I also raised the bottom strand some because my field grows really fast around here, and I just want to be able to have a little bit of leeway. Oh, come on, honey. Please don't sting me in the face. Okay, how about we're gonna walk and talk then? So, the field grows a lot quicker, so that'll give me a little bit of time before I have to weed whack all the time. I got a pile of junk I got to pull out of here with the trailer, but I probably should have thrown some tensioners in it as well, but quite honestly, it's easy enough to just wind that up if I need to. Now, as far as my charger, I just have a straight up solar charger. I think it's rated for, I don't know, 10 miles or something like that. What's more important is the joule rating on that. That's the power output of your solar fence, of your electric fence. In New Hampshire, Fish and Game recommends for bears anywhere from about 0.7 to 1.2 joules. Mine only puts out 0.3. So technically it's not strong enough for bear rated. The only time I've had a bear poking around down here, I threw on my muck boots and I chased it away with a shovel. So I had my muck boots, my underpants on, and a shovel. What's going on with my chickens? Anyway, not sure. There's been a fox around, so they might have seen something up at the fence, so I'm gonna have to check for that. So at any rate, pretty easy. And what I did on this too, is I made it so it's low enough so that if I want to, I can just step right over it, which is nice. But I also made that extra long break point there as well. You can really hear the peepers out here right now, which is really good. And yeah, I got most of the apiary set up for expansion, minus I ran out of 2 cinder blocks and 2 more 4x4s. So I have those laying around somewhere in scrap. We're beekeepers, right? We don't throw anything out. We have that crap laying around somewhere. So the fence is done. I just got to power it back up. And some people, when they run these, they run hots, grounds and hots. I just run full hots, and then I have 2 ground bars, 2 ground rods on the other side of my solar charger. So I'll kind of show what I mean. So right now, these aren't jumped at all. I actually am gonna jump these with some wires. And then for those of you that have never set these up before, a couple of ground rods. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on those. So a couple of ground rods that lead over to the negative terminal on my charger. This will get hooked up to the fence and flick it on. And then of course, unfortunately I forgot my my fence charger. But I'm taking the dogs for a walk soon, so I'll come back out here and check that in a moment. But I'm not worried at all. That charger puts out a pretty good little zap. And even though it's not bear rated, I don't really think a bear would like it much. So at any rate, like I said, hopefully this weekend, I'm actually gonna crack hives. My plan is to take off these wraps. I'm going to reverse boxes that need reversing, equalize as long as it's not going to hurt the production capability of my boxes. And number 1 and number 2, I'm going to be using as cell builders this year. So I'll explain a process of what I plan on doing with all of these boxes once I get into them. So I'll see you on that video. It is April 12th. It is bee day, and I am excited. And no, I don't mean my birthday. I mean it's the first day that I get to go out into my bees, unwrap them, go through the hives, do reversals, check brood stores, equalize if need be. I'm getting my my sugar tank feed system set up, pumping out from my my large batch sugar syrup mixer. So transferring it to that tank into my feeder rig, and then we're going to be going out to the bee yard. We're going to be putting the new covers on, new bottom boards on, and like I said, checking all the hives in a various number of ways. So I'm trying to make sure that I pack everything up in the trailer accordingly, because I think that's part of the real art of beekeeping, is trying to remember to bring all the things that you need. Pretty sure everybody has gone out to the bee yard and be like, oh, I forgot the blah that I really need. So for me, that's fine because I'm in my own property, but if you're in an out yard and you're miles away from home, that's no fun. So I'm gonna get that sugar syrup transferred over. Then I'll meet you down in the bee yard in a minute. So can't complain about this. 50 degrees, and it's about 9:30 in the morning. I got a neighbor running a chainsaw at the moment because we're getting logs together, because we're also going to be doing some mushroom inoculation this year. Because why not have all the projects, right? So at any rate, first things first, I'm going to go around in my hives and take all the wraps off, and I'll get to work on that. All right, so I'm literally going to start with the worst hive first right here, because this one is riding the struggle bus big time. So if I need to cull it and combine it with a healthy hive, I'll do that. If I think it's savable and I can find some good resource combs in some of the other hives, then I'll reinforce this one. I'll have a lot of stuff coming out of the bee yard today. A lot of extra gear out here right now that wouldn't normally be out. So just gonna have a lot of mess to clean up even after I put these hives together. There's not even a single bee in there. Well, I don't have to worry about doing much with this hive except cleaning it out, because it's a dead out. So this, man, Gorilla Tape, good stuff. This hive didn't make it, so that's loss number 4 out of 14. So I am down to 10 hives. That's kind of a bummer, but not a surprise. Like I said, this one was barely holding on for dear life. I will check just to make sure. For some reason they're not in the bottom box, but I highly doubt that's the issue, because normally they'd be up top here. Too much duct tape, Paul. Next winter, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap these right in the Prodex, and I won't have to worry about this, because this hive was wrapped in the tar paper, and I don't know, I'm not really sold on the tar paper. I look forward to being able to switch it. This hive is so light, I already know there's not a single bee in here. Yep, there they all are, dead. Well, that makes my decision easy. Oh, and that's so heavy too. They have so much food stores in there. So, I'll have to figure out what I thought that might have been. I really don't think it was a matter of moisture or anything like that. They have food stores. I gave them OAV before winter. But ultimately at the moment, I got a bee coming up and looking at me. I think I might take my time here. Be a little more careful. See what's going on with these guys. Be back with you in a second. So I'm sure what that little bee was that was up there was probably just a neighboring bee checking stuff out, seeing what they could get away with. But this will be one of the dead outs that I'm also going to clean today, and pretty much my dead outs I'm just going to have clean and sealed up so that way they can't get robbed out, and then those will be just about ready for when I need to make splits. They'll already be drawn comb and have resources, and I will split those up accordingly. So at least the rest of my hives will look better than this. So either way, what I am going to do is change out the bottom board, throw this back together real quick, get the new top cover on it, get the Reflectix and the Prodex. Show you what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to be doing inner covers anymore, which I've mentioned in some previous videos. What I'm going to be doing is Reflectix top cover or inner cover, and then I'm going to have some Prodex on top of that. I'm actually going to double up on these. The Reflectix doesn't really have an R value. I think it's R value 1. This Protex is supposedly 10.5, and obviously it's not winter anymore. They're not going to need that as much, but I'm gonna do that and just hopefully make them super efficient. If I find that they're way too hot in the summer, then I'll just take the Protex off. You're not gonna believe this. So I was scraping off the top box and getting everything all set. Look what's right there, crawling around. She show up on frame? Blue dot on her back? How the hell do I save a queen that has 37 bees to her name? They can't raise brood with that. There's no eggs in here. She can't do anything. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out that. I should probably just pinch her and move on. But for right now, what I'll probably do is put her in a queen clip, just in case there's a problem in one of the other hives, and I'll be able to make use of her. What a weird start so far. That first hive to have, I mean, this many bees and an active queen, or a queen that's alive. I know I shouldn't try, but I am going to harvest a little bit of resources from another strong hive, and I'm going to see if I can turn that into a tiny little split. And who knows? Maybe they'll make it, and if not, then I've wasted resources. So, I don't know. Moving on, let's go ahead and get some of this stuff open. Be good to get all this stuff changed out, get a lot of this garbage out of here. Got myself a nice magnet clip, gonna test that out, because normally I'd put this in my pockets, and then you just end up with a lot of junk in your pockets at the end of the day. Very sticky pants. I am already so sick of this duct tape, let me tell you that. But a good lesson to know in the future. That looks better. That looks better, girls. Thank you much. So I'm just going to look at this box from the bottom. My goal today isn't to do full inspections. It's really just to test the weight, to look at how many frames of bees that I have, and see where they're at. And on a hive like that, that's pretty good. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 frames of bees. Oh. What? What's that, ladies? You want some smoke? There you go. Have some smoke. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Look at these girls. And get some smoke on them. But initially pulling it up, they're almost wall-to-wall on this. They're a solid 8 frame of bees on the top. They got the double frame feeder. Otherwise, I think they'd be wall-to-wall. These girls aren't far away from building comb. They're not super stoked about me opening up at the moment. But that's okay. Because they're doing well. Man, they really hate that microphone. I'm gonna have to move that. Yep, for sure. Bird comb everywhere. They're solid packed honey. Come on, ladies, I'm trying to talk. Get out of my microphone. Go hunt a house. One down, one to go. Alright. Oh Lord. In the pocket that microphone goes. Hopefully that doesn't affect the sound quality too much. Yeah, these ladies are not the most happy to see me. Some of this bird comb off. I got a comb bucket around the corner. I gotta go get. Collect that throughout the season. It adds a little bit of comb. They're definitely bringing in a lot of pollen too. I suspect most of it's maple. It's a real light colored pollen. I don't have any dandelion plants up yet, so I'm sure it's all tree pollen at this point. All right, let's see if you have any brood in here, ladies, or if this is just all food stores. Looks like for some reason some old strips of the Viroxan got left behind in here as well. I was not a fan. I won't be using those again. Yeah, this is just solid packed with honey. They have so much food in here, it's ridiculous. That is a heavy frame. Craziness. Do you girls not have any brood up in here? Oh yeah, there you do. There you go. A little bit of brood, some nice young bees, more stupid Viroxan strips. I hate those, man. They just mess up the comb. They ruined so much space that the bees could have used. I bought those a couple years ago and tried them out. Wasn't a huge fan. Good frame, eggs, larvae, capped brood. More on that side. Decent little amount of bees. And here's where the risky part comes out. I'm gonna double check real quick for the queen. Then I'm gonna move this frame right over to that other hive. Looks clean to me. This hive is a mess. It's got burr comb everywhere. The rails are a mess. These stupid strips are in the way, screwing up a bunch of comb. Man, how did so much of this get missed? I must have missed this hive completely when it was time to take these strips out. I can tell I'm getting close to the queen too. The nurse bees are getting more tightly packed. So what I will do is when I do find the queen in this hive is I will shake out more nurse bees into that little hive that I'm trying to support as well. But right now, I've given them a few frames of brood. Those have great food in it. They actually had some food in there already. I just need one more frame. And yep, I'm gonna steal it all from this one hive. Let's see if the queen is right up here. Let's also clean up these rails. Those are dirty. Well, they don't like that. They're coming out to tell me, hey, mister, we don't like you. We don't like you doing that. And then I give them emphysema. I got a ton of burr comb on the bottom of that frame. I know, I'm not moving too quick. Normally you'd want to move through a hive faster than this. This is not what I really wanted to be doing. This was supposed to be a quicker process, switching these hives over on new bottom boards, new top boards, equalizing. But it looks like I've been having to adjust for some problems that have been long-standing. Still haven't seen the queen yet, but that's okay. Because she might be in the bottom box by now. And that's all food. That's all food. Clean up these rails. Like I said, they're not a fan of me right now. I am definitely causing quite an amount of havoc in this box. And they are letting me know they do not appreciate it. I know, ladies. It's not how you wanted your day to go. But guess what? It's going to be 70s all week. You're going to love it. It's all going to be worth it. Give them a little bit of drawn comb. This one's empty foundation. Does have wax on it though. Some more drawn foundation on one side anyway. Get this box out of here. Do the old switcheroo. Gotta get my frame feeder in the next one. So these guys, man, that is so much fur comb. Eventually this year as well, I'm also going to be introducing drone frames to really try to eliminate some of this burr comb in between my frames as well. I'm also getting away from the double deep method, which I think I've shared as well. I know, ladies, I know. All right, so let's recap here. I'm on the end of the first line here on hive number 9. So far, it's kind of been a mess. The last hive that I was just on, number 10, right here next to me, apparently I'd left Viroxan strips in there from when I did my Viroxan treatment when I tried that one out once. And I think that was at the early on last year. So the comb was a mess. There was burr comb everywhere. There was really good brood. There was really good food stores. They had heavy, heavy honey frames on there still. So they went through the winter really well. And what I didn't do, or excuse me, what I did with this hive as well, is I took a bunch of brood and food, and I know I'm not really supposed to, but the very first hive that I checked, which I knew was my weakest hive, hive number, I think that's 14 down the way, 10, 11, 12, I think it is. Hive 12, I have no idea how they were alive, had this much bees. I'm talking less than a baseball size. And when I was just about to dump them out and shake them everywhere, I had a little blue dot queen right there looking me in the face. Now, she couldn't do anything because she can't lay eggs because there's not enough bees to raise anything. So I'm running an experiment right now. I went ahead and I took 3 frames out of the last hive that I just worked on with food stores, good brood, young eggs if need be, and a good amount of nurse bees. And I stuck them into that hive that has that blue dot queen. Now, maybe the blue dot queen still has the ability to lay, and now there'll be enough bees emerging soon that'll make that hive essentially into a little split. Because right now, I'm trying to grow my hive numbers, and I know I don't really want to waste resources trying to save something that's really weak, because in the long run, that has the potential to hurt me. But also, if I can get one more hive real quick that's up and running and good to go, then so be it. If that queen is a dud and those bees realize it, then they'll just supersede her because there's young enough eggs in there as well that they can make an emergency queen. And then I haven't seen any drones yet, but drones will be coming soon. So hopefully all that timing works out. But yeah, the last hive that I did, those Viroxan strips, they made a mess out of the comb. So that's just a really good reminder to make sure that you're paying attention to your time frames on your treatments. If you have pads and something and those pads need to be removed, put it in your calendar with an alert to make sure that you're going ahead and doing that. Because man, that was a mess. It took me 4 or 5 times longer in that hive to do a quick manipulation, change a bottom board and change a top board, than I ever wanted to do. I'm probably not going to show that one on the video because it was fairly embarrassing. So moving on, hopefully it gets easier. I'm trying to switch everything out as I go along, level the hives out as well, because some of these blocks really weren't level. But a lot of them, the bees look good. A lot of them, I'm really impressed. That last one had about 7 to 8 frames of bees on it. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I'm definitely going to be able to get some good splits out of some of these hives. So I'm going to keep moving on along, and we'll see you how it looks like at the end. I'll report back. This is what a lot of my hives have looked like. I can't ask for more than that. That's wall-to-wall bees except for the very end frame. So this is great. I'm really pleased with how everything in this apiary has looked, except for that one. That one was the trouble one. Oh my God, look at this mess. Let me pan around here so you can see this. Look at this. This has been a slower process than I expected. Bottom boards out, top boards out, or excuse me, inner covers and top boards and quilt boxes. I'm gonna have just as much work cleaning this place up as I am doing all these reversals and all of these equipment changes. But in the end, I do believe it's all gonna be worth it. So now I gotta pick up this huge mess that I made. But all said and done, now they're on new solid bottom boards. They got insulated covers on everywhere. They got the condensing hive style inner covers as well. So now they're well insulated on the top. So now it's just a matter of, I gotta go through and clean this place up, put it back together. I got feed on everyone, so hopefully everybody should be really well stimulated in preparation for the splits. And then the other thing I got to do too is I'm going to let them calm down for a day or two, but I'm going to throw a half round of Formic Pro on these guys just to knock down any mites that they might have right now. And other than that, good to go. So hopefully you came out of the winter season good. If you're not in the Northeast like me, you've probably been out of the winter season for a long time, so you're probably already rocking and rolling. But if you're up near me, in my neck of the woods, hopefully you came out of it well. And until next time, be well, forge on.